It is me, and we are live. Thank you, thank you. How is everybody doing today? I pinned the link up there in case you want to come up and you want to disturb me. You're welcome to do so. What are we doing today anyway? Oh, we're drawing for pesos 500 today. For sure. There's going to be a winner today for 500 pesos. Minnie's in there preparing dinner, and then when she's all ready, I'm sure she'll be coming in here and she'll be helping us out. Let me take a sip of tea. What is this? This is ginger tea. Delicious. I'm still trying to get over this cold. It's been kicking my butt, as most of you know. It makes living life quite miserable. All right, let me see if I can find the chat here. It's kind of dark in here today. Oh, that's probably because of the sunglasses. Yeah, so I was at the terminal in Ormo. Oh, that's a whole story today. I'm telling you. So, Mammy and I, we were up early. We were headed down the road to Ormo because we had to pick up parts. Parts is parts, as they say in the business. And then about 3/4 of the way down there, I started realizing that, hey, wait a minute. I'm not sure we actually need these parts. So I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you this story a little bit. But I was feeling well enough to go on the bus ride. That's the whole point. That's kind of why I'm bringing up this story. By the way, get everybody here because we need 30 people in the room in order to draw. Let me pull up the chat and see who all's here. I do apologize for slurping. Let me see what we got. Who's here? Who's here? Who's here? And if you dare, click on the link and come up and say hello. I see Princess Sarah's here. Rona Cease. Pressy Manzanero stopped by to say hi. Sec Bucci's hanging around close by. Minio, what do you know? Pressy Manzanero, Princess Sarah is here somewhere. Who else is here? Lena Matutina is here. We have 12 million people in the house so far. Anna May Reyes. Shout out to Marian Salonga. Jeremiel David is here. Jeremiel, how's it going? How are you? Good to see you in the house today. Tim Deziak is in the room. Tim Deziak is here. Invite your ninja channels. Let's get 30 in the room so we can draw. I'll go for as long as I can go. I have a couple stories to share with you. I'm going to start off about I'm going to continue on. I did a video about it, Princess Sarah, about the air conditioning system. As a matter of fact, I have it on right now. I'm not really sure if you guys can hear it. It's a 1 horsepower. So he hooked it up very, very nicely. But something happened. Something happened that involves a breaker switch that is not directly connected to these AC units. Each one of these AC units is on an individual breaker switch. Anna G, how you be? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That's how they do in the Philippines. When you fill the box up, and then you got it when you fill your original breaker switch box up that's inside the house. Every appliance that they have to add, they have to run it through a separate breaker. So each individual utility is on a separate breaker. That's what happens when you have a house that's got 3 air conditioning systems. It's got fans all over the place. It's got a refrigerator and all those things that you need, or we think we need in the West. From the West, we always bring our problems this way to the Philippines. That's what Westerners do. Oh, by the way, it reminds me of something. Manuel Lizabel, I hope you don't mind me talking about this. And that is that, so Andy Omar does this video about this YouTuber, this new guy, who's saying a whole bunch of stuff. As a matter of fact, he's starting to sound a little bit like me. I talk a lot about the importing of Western culture but I have yet to say whether it's a good or a bad thing. In a general sense, it can be a good thing, right? But here's the negative side of it. And this is what this video was all about. The video was all about was he's asking things in the form of a question, this new YouTuber, and Andy Omar is sort of critiquing him by asking questions on the screen as he's talking through his video. So, what do you have? The antagonist and you have the protagonist, right? Just like in a book. So you have Andy Omar kind of like making fun of him, saying, "What's wrong with Western culture?" But actually, the guy wasn't saying in the video that there's anything wrong with Western culture. And I agree with that. The only point as a matter of fact, if I have a problem with Western culture, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And that is that it's a debt run economy that they're trying to import here to the Philippines. And you don't want to run an economy based on how much money people borrow from the bank and things like that. But but that's totally different. That belief I'm going to lay out right there in front of you. But as far as this goes, as far as the importing of Western culture being a negative, that's the only thing that I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with people going to McDonald's and things like that, going to KFC and Shakey's Pizza. I do it all myself. Uh, so there's nothing wrong with the importing of Western culture in general. But Andy Omar, he seemed to be making a deal out of it. Irene and Irish is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me get a cup of my tea here. Yeah, in a general sense, there's nothing wrong with it. The guy's only point in this video, and I can't even remember his name, and here I'm talking a little bit about it. Really, I'm talking about the critique of Andy Omar. And if you want to go in there, Andy Omar critiques the video. It's easy to find. This is his shtick. And quite frankly, I've always gotten along with the guy. I actually like him. I know you probably look at his videos and go, oh, how could you possibly like this guy? Because he's always criticizing people. Well, Andy Omar, Dan, Andy Omar, Dan. That's probably why we get along, right? The only point that the guy was trying to make is that if you're trying to escape Western culture, then you wouldn't come to the Philippines. This is what I got out of it. And I think he makes a valid point. A lot of people want to retire and they want to you put their blinders on the home in the home stretch. They want to enjoy their retirement. They're just like I realize retirement is such an interesting concept, because here in the Philippines, there's no such thing. You work until you drop. You do whatever you can for as long as you can until you can't do it no more. And that's your retirement. And usually, most people will pass away or die before they ever stop working. Well, so, you know, we're supposed to be in America in the West, rich countries, and so we have all these social programs that we could take advantage of. One of them is Social Security retirement, and you could live comfortably in a lot of different places, a lot of different countries on that money, and the Philippines just happens to be one of them. But otherwise, he spoke the truth as far as I could tell that everything is getting more expensive here. That's becoming a less desirable location if you don't want if you're trying to avoid the Western influence, seeing it every single day. And that perhaps could be why a lot of people are settling in Thailand. And by the way, man, Minnie and I, we're going to be in Thailand soon. I think in a few days we head over to Cebu. I was telling her I want to spend at least a few days in Cebu and hang out and go around and walk and do different things, get some exercise in. And then we'll go to Manila and we'll hang around there for a few days. I hate being rushed when making our way to a foreign country. I was trying to avoid going into Manila. A lot of you know that. I'm not a fan of going into the airport, but I love Manila as a city. There's no better city in the entire world, as far as I'm concerned, than Manila. I can't explain why I like it so much. I like the hustle. I like the bustle. I like the crowds of people. I like everything about Manila. Just is a very, very exciting place to be. And I understand that a lot of people, they don't like it. That's okay. I have no critique for them. I mean, you live life to the fullest anywhere that you can. It just so happens that I'm lucky enough that I have loved every single place I've ever been. What can I say? I could practically live any place of the places that I visited so far. Folks, it's just the way that it is. Can't say it any other way. How do you explain that? How do you explain that to someone that you just like every place you've ever been? I know it's not for everybody. I know that it's not for everybody, but it's for me. So I like going around. I like Manila. I love Cebu. I adore Thailand. I love Bangkok. I love Pattaya. I love Chiang Mai. I love the northern part of Thailand, Chiang Rai. I've been to the golden where the three countries meet, the golden triangle, I guess they call it, which is Thailand. It's where Thailand meets um, Burma, that area. And across the way is Laos, or a little bit further or Cambodia. My geography is all messed up. I'll admit it. But anyway, I enjoy that whole region, and I could live quite comfortably anywhere. And so we're going to be making our way north, and then we're going to get on a plane in Manila. I just don't like the airport in Manila. That was the point I was trying to make, Crystals. It's just the way it is. I was just trying to. I love Manila. I can't stand the airport, but they're fixing that, right? They're putting the airport a little bit further to the north, and then you have Clark, and Clark is the airport that I was trying to get into. So at least we could have maybe had a chance of seeing Tim Dziak, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen because I wasn't able to make it work. I wasn't. The timelines were all wrong. The time of day that it landed, I wasn't able to get the right price. You generally will pay a premium if you want to go into one of those airports where you're hassle free, going through customs and all that other stuff. So anyway, and this time I did something differently too that I'd like to share with you. So this time, you know how it's a big headache when you're getting the discount price from the province, right? X Jerks is here. It's always nice to have an X Jerks in the house, somebody that I could relate to. But anyway, here's the thing. It's always the whole thing about it is it makes it so difficult when you're flying internationally. You want to head out. The reason why we're trying to go direct from Cebu, and it was impossible because you would have been on a plane for days, even though you're only going to Thailand, which is only what, a 3.5 hour flight away. Well, anyway, the whole thing is I could not make it work because they even even paying top dollar for a plane ticket out of Cebu, you would not be able to get to Bangkok or to Clark where it makes sense. In other words, where it gets there timely, hassle free. And one of the things that always bugs me, they make it difficult to do business with them, the airlines here in the Philippines, is that you always have to pay extra for checked luggage. And so in the past, being the man, low budget Dan, the way that I've done it is we would take two backpacks, no more than the limit on the weight, which is what? 7 pounds. What do you guys call it here? 7 something, right? And then you'd have yeah, I'm no good at the metric system either. And then we would pay for one check-in bag, and then we'd get the 20 pound, whatever it is, check-in bag, and we'd get the 7, whatever it is, carry-on. What is it, you guys? How do you measure baggage here in the Philippines? Shane Rasa, how do you do it? How do you do it, Crystals? Someone tell me how you do it. Annie MC is here. Nobody likes the Manila airport. Yeah, I know. I mean, you just worry the whole time you're there that something ridiculous is going to happen. And generally speaking, it almost never does. But I am low budget down. And so but I didn't want it kilograms. That's it, kilos. Okay, so Tim, it's 7 kilos is free on the discount airline, but you have to pay extra to check a 20 kilogram bag, right? Kilo bags. So I said to Minnie, man, I'm just giving up. I'm giving up. Let's pay all the way through on the budget airline from Cebu to Manila. I'll just pay the extra money for the 2 check bags, the 2 20-kilogram bags, right? And so I did that. So it's difficult to extract the money out of my wallet. I don't know why I'm that way. I just like to travel on the cheap for the most part. And then I could brag to my friends, oh, I traveled to Thailand on the cheap. So what? So what? What's the big deal? You act like you're some kind of a hero, right? It drives Mammy nuts. I know it does. She likes to pack it full. Just because I did it this time, and we're taking 2 check-in bags, right? I'm sure she's going to be using all of her bag packed to the hilt, and then she'll want to use my bag too. By the way, let me tell you about the room. So we got it all worked out. We're just going to go early to Cebu, spend a couple of days there, and then we will go to the airport casually, go to Manila, not be in a hurry, stay overnight, maybe 1 or 2 nights there. Get on the plane, which is, I think we're taking Cebu Pacific, had the best price, Manila to Bangkok. So we'll be on Cebu Pacific with the check bags. And then I did something that's also out of character. We're coming in at a ridiculously early time in the morning. So I paid for, I know I'm changing. I'm getting old. There's something wrong with my head. What does Tim say? Tim said I checked in 1 bag and then I will have carry-on for my trip to Canada. I gotcha. So I got an extra day, the day before and the day after we leave, at the guest house that we're staying. I said guest house, the guest house that we're staying at, right? And of course, the reason for doing that is because we're coming in early in the morning, and I want to go straight to the guest house, which has 24-hour reception. Thank God we have 24-hour reception. We're going to go to the guest house. Megan Gomez is in the house. Anna Maria is hanging in there with us. And gosh, look at this. I'm trying to give 500 pesos away, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it tonight because nobody showed up. We only have 11 million people here. Well, anyway, I got the day before and the day after. We're staying there for 3 weeks. So I booked and paid in advance for the 3 weeks at this guest house for which we have never stayed at before. Manolo Lizabella's here. And so it's taking quite a chance. But, again, I read the reviews. The reviews look good. And so we're going to take a chance at how it goes. I'll let you know. But we're going to be there for 3 weeks. And I hope I don't fall in the same traps I normally do. Same traps would be that we get there and then we have dual SIM phones, and so we have to get a SIM card and all this other stuff. But Smart has roaming on their card, on a Smart card, right? The Smart SIM card has a roaming option. So that rocket scientist that's been helping Minnie work through all these passport and all these documents, we're going to call her up and we're going to say, do you know how to set up roaming on these phones? And then Minnie and I will go to roaming and we'll just buzz right through the airport, exchange a little bit of American money for some Thai baht, and then go on our merry way. If you go, just be light, free luggage. And if you come home, full packed luggage with lots of souvenirs. That's always the idea, Crystals, and it almost never works out. 24-hour reception. The night clerk doesn't go to sleep. And this is a very small place. It is near Terminal 22. It's in the Terminal 22 is still part of the entertainment district on Sukhumvit Road. And I think we got a pretty good deal, but the whole thing is I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to have to wait, not get any sleep because we're coming in early in the morning as usual. Renzel Ann is here. Rider Adventure in the house. Crystal's Adventure is hanging in with us. Ha! Hey, Crystals, you're funny. Your sense of humor is very unique. Anyway, I think we have it all handled. Of course, we're going there. We're going to be meeting up. Mark, we're going to be meeting up with some of our good friends there that are in Bangkok. All right, so we're going to be leaving soon. I don't know how the YouTube thing is going to be going. I really don't. I don't know what it would be like carrying this stuff around. I haven't decided if we're carrying the laptop or if I'm going to figure out how to set up the phone with the headphones. Where's my headphones? They're around here somewhere. So that we could do live streaming on the headphones. I'm not sure if any of the thing is going to work out. We're just going to have to take our chances, you know? I mean, I'll decide what to do and then we'll just follow through and go ahead and do it. I'll probably just bring the laptop because I'm lazy, you know. I don't want to have to figure out how to use this live stream, you know, and burn data. I don't even know if we have internet. I think internet in this guest house is only in the public area. So I would have to do a live stream from the restaurant or someplace like Starbucks that has free Wi-Fi. I don't know how it's going to go yet. I think I did it a couple of times. I think we did it at McDonald's one time and we did it at a Starbucks or a Bo's coffee shop, but we'll figure it all out. Michelle Lozada is here. Get your peeps here because we're almost halfway through the live and we need 30 people in order to call Man Minion here and give this 500 pesos away. Don't leave me hanging, folks. Please don't, because I had to send Man Mini out. She had to go out of her way over to the 7-Eleven to reload my Gcash because I burned it all up. Girly Santa's in the house. Thank you so much for your time. Annie MC has not given up on me. So let's talk about the other thing. People were curious. They were sending me messages. So how's the thing with the land going on what's going on with that? All right. So some of you may have watched the video. I mean, the whole thing, not just the first part or the last part. Some of you actually watched the whole thing. And you sent me a message, how's the land going? The place that you guys visited. I was very impressed with it. But luck has gone our way on this one. Let me tell you what happened. Some of you noticed it because you commented. But we got there, and it turns out that the caretaker of that land is an old schoolmate of Minnie's. Now, this oftentimes happens, right, in the province. When you are born, you're grown up and raised in the province, everybody knows each other, everybody marries each other. As a matter of fact, a lot of stuff goes on in the province. Some of it I can't even talk about. I'm ashamed. But anyway, that's why it's so complicated how to figure out the relationships with everybody who's involved. So she runs into somebody who's the caretaker of that land who she hasn't seen in 20 some years. So it's pretty exciting. Let's say I saw activity in the 7s, 11s that has been closed for 3 years. Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Huh. Wow. Okay, so maybe someone's taking it over, right? You say you saw activity in there? Which 7-Eleven? I can't even remember it. You mean down there on Fields Avenue? Anyway, I'm talking so fast. I'll tell you what happened. So the price is reasonable on the property, right? It's not a spectacular price, but it is reasonable. And so they have a little love fest. They have a thing, you know, where they reintroduce themselves to each other, catch up on what's going on. And then we make an offer on the land right there in the spot, and then they send that off to, I think, Hawaii is where they're living. So the family that owns that lot and several others in the Bye Bye, they live over in Hawaii, and they've developed some of the land. Some of the land I'm sure they're growing food on, and some of it they have no plans on doing anything with it. I happen to like this piece of land, and there's a whole bunch. Oh, I see. Mabalacat. Mabalacat. You know what? I've always struggled to get the name of uh, that little town there, that street. Anyway, I don't think I'm ever going to get it. Minnie does it perfectly. You know, she sees the names just Mabalacat. Mabalacat. Something like that. Anyway, somebody put it phonetically in the chat so I could see how to pronounce it. All right, so 21 million people in the house. We still haven't reached 30. So I need to scratch the back. There must be fleas or something in here. Well, anyway, uh, it's been raining a lot here. We have a lot of fleas, Rona. Anyway, the whole thing is that we went back and forth a little bit on the the money part and the details, and finally they came back and they said, you know what, we really want you to have this property, and so we know that you have a few things going on in order to get the cash together, and that you're also going to be in Thailand. So we're not selling it to anybody else. We're selling it to you. Uh, we're selling it to Minnie. We like her family. I have a feeling that they know Minnie's family also. I haven't been told the name. I haven't seen the title yet on the land on that 600 square meter lot. I haven't seen the title on it yet, but I have a feeling that everybody knows each other, and so we're in a good spot. Ma ba laket. Ma ba laket. Ma ba laket. Ma ba laket. If I'm close, give me a thumbs up, Tim. Beth says, Sir Dan and Miniature, good evening. Beth Beltran, Miss Smiley is in the house. Miss Smiley and Miss Laffy is in the house. Princess Sarah's here. Rona sees 25 million people in the house. Minio, what do you know? So. Looks like that's going to go our way. We're going to have to, we're going to have to move some money around to get it over here, and then we will cash. No, Sir Tim, it's Mabalaka. Yeah, I believe she's right. It's Mabalakat. Mabalakat. All right, you guys work it out. Oh, Crystals, thank you. Tim, thank you. Okay, so we got the details worked out, and so we have to move some money around in order to get it here. I'm a little bit concerned, of course, because a healthcare emergency can all of a sudden appear, because I'm getting older, can all of a sudden just boom, it shows up when you least expect it. And if we had all of our cash tied up because we bought this land and we haven't been able to get cash back over here quickly enough, well, then I would have a problem. I know I got credit cards. That's a whole nother story. The credit card thing worked out really good on booking the planes. I didn't have nearly the problems I had last time. I didn't have a problem with them not approving and saying, "Oh, I did." They did call me on the Motorola phone. I think I told you that on the last live. So this was the Google phone that Knitband had said, "Why don't you just set up? Why do you put yourself through it, Dan? Money." I try and cheap out. Well, cut that out. You shouldn't be cheaping out on this part of it. Go get yourself a Motorola phone, a Google phone, hook it up. When you're in the States, I did that. And so this time when they asked for the secret magic code, you know which one I'm talking about, Marion Salonga, the one that Gcash is always asking about. It's always a pain in the butt. Well, anyway, Mini Snow, it worked out, and they sent that thing straight to my phone. Now, I'm not worried so much about Thailand and how this roaming works on this Android with the Oppo phone here, the Android with the smart SIM card, because I know there's a way of setting it up for roaming. But the Motorola Google phone automatically, boom, will send me a message saying, "Oh, we see you're in Thailand." And then boom, they will allocate the data, and then I'll be able to use Google Maps and everything, do the direction mode, do the chat seamlessly. It's an entirely seamless process. And I like that aspect of the Google phone. So I got to give a shout out to Knitband for convincing me that that was the way to go to get it set up. All right, so we're going to be going over there. We're going to be meeting a few friends and their wives and girlfriends. And we'll be gone over there for 3 weeks. And then when we get back, Jean God, when we get back, then we're going to wrap up this thing on the land. And things are going to go pretty fast. because we'll be having brother-in-law Joe doing some things in the background while we're over there. And so I'm really happy about this land thing because this is going to be, it's going to go fast in terms of building a soft material house on it. I've always wanted to build a native house. I know some of you probably are going to critique me. Even Filipinos or Filipinas are probably going to critique me, saying, "Dan, what are you doing?" Well, I'll build a soft material house, but I'll make sure that the CR and the outdoor kitchen are nicely constructed and clean and modern and comfortable. And I'm not going to be the one to live there. And no, that's not going to be a summer cottage. That was a little weather joke for you. No, oh, Nipan is here. Shouldn't you be sleeping? I'm the devil. You took my name and I'm here. Yeah. Nipan, I was just talking about the Google phone and how well that's all worked out. So I was telling them about how, I'm not going to be stressing, about getting the SIM card at the airport and all other stuff because we'll have the Motorola Google phone with us. It'll be a seamless transition. I'll get that little message saying, "Oh, we see you're in Thailand." You know what I'm talking about, right? Right in the band. Anyway, and then later when we're near 7-Eleven, we'll go in there and we'll buy the SIM cards for those the other phones, or we'll put the smart cards or the smart SIM cards on roaming. I have to talk to a rocket scientist and do a little bit of research, Nitban, in order to find out which way is the best way to go. And usually, what I mean the best way, you know that I'm talking about the cheapest way to go, right? Okay, all right. Anyway, that's the story. I'm sticking to it. 26 million people in the house. Nitban has helped us out a little bit. Somebody do something. Call your friends and neighbors. Put your ninjas in so we can do this drawing. All right, so the land, they said we listen, we recognize you guys loved it and you want it. There's some exciting things about that property. It's small. It's small and compact. But there's some magic happening with that land. There's some magic things happening with that land. Meaning that when you go down to City Hall and you look at the general plan, for that area, I like what I see. I like what they have planned for that area. And right now, yeah, it looks like the country. It looks very native, very nice people there. Most of the houses there are soft material houses. Although I did run into a couple of houses, Lorraine Pajadas, that were built by Westerners. You can always tell, right? Because they're mansions, they're palaces. Well, anyway, James is here. They're very modern, but the whole thing is that there are plenty of native houses with lovely, lovely local people whose families they've lived there for you know millions of years. And I saw what the plan was for the subdivision that they're planning in the future. And the future is now, as far as I'm concerned. And so for me, I want to be in place, ready to go, even though the idea was to use this as agricultural land, and we'll take it as far as we could go. Did you guys see that miracle fruit? By the way, do you know what miracle fruit is and what it does? Anyway, I can't go into it here because none of this. If I were to start talking about miracle fruit, well, let's just say that I probably would be banned by YouTube because the statements aren't approved by the CDC. And so we're not going to talk about that other than I'm going to send you to Google and then you're going to look at miracle fruit and what it does. You saw how big those were, right? You make it into a tea, right? And you can go on Google and you can see all the applications. Is it called? It's big, right? So it's not the little tiny miracle fruit that comes up on Google. It's the big pumpkin-sized miracle fruit. I mean, really big. Yeah, Dan, we know we have a plant, miracle fruits. Oh, okay. So you know everything about that plant, and it's a miracle, basically. So anyway, I'm glad you know what that is. Yes, Googlefy is the best for trellis. It absolutely is spectacular. There's no question about it, Nitban. I'm sold. But, you know, They also call me. They not only call me low budget Dan, but they also call me hassle free Dan. And I like hassle free travel. And Google Fi is. But I got these phones here, right? These Oppo phones that we got on sale in Thailand. Of course, now I know why we got them on sale because they're not that great. They don't have video stability or anything like that. See, only two lenses. Well, anyway, it's not really a big deal, but I want to make sure that we can use smart roaming before we leave here, and then it'll also give us a message when we get into Thailand. And then you just buzz right through the airport. I know you have to exchange a little bit of a little bit of money, American money. I'm starting to sort out my nice, fresh, and clean $100 bills right now. I'm not taking a whole bunch of American money, but I'm taking enough that uh, and we have enough left over from the last trip to Thailand, net band, that we probably can get in and out of the airport easy enough, especially if we take the train, which actually the train is very, very doable for where we're staying there near Terminal 21. Anyway, go look it up on Google. It's very impressive. Folks, what time is it? I don't think we've hit the 30 mark. I really don't. I think we're not going to be able to draw tonight for that 500 pesos. Yes, sir. So healthy. Make it a juice, and the effect is like Gatorade. The other miracle fruit is a berry. We have two. Bitter ones taste sweet if you eat it. Really? Okay. Alfie Martin is here. So, what's it all about, Alfie? That's the plan. So you'll be seeing us hop across the water again. That's going to happen in a few days. What's the day? It's getting later and later, isn't it? Right. All right. I did not finish the story. Let's see. Tim says I can get load for roaming on my Gcash. Yeah, that's what. Is it easy to set up, Tim? So now, because Smart is in Thailand, of course, and I get these advertisements that says before you go to Thailand the next time, if your phone goes with you, they know every move you make. So I get these advertisements, and they say basically next time you're in Thailand, use smart roaming, and blah blah blah. So okay, how do you use it? Seems complicated to me. I want to have full use. I want to have data, voice. I want to have text. I want the whole thing. I really don't care if it costs $80 or $100 for the duration that we're going to be there. All right, I was going to finish the story of and then we're going to get out of here. I hope we hit 30. I hope we hit 30 people by the time we get out of here, and I'm done finishing up my story. But okay, so we get up early because the electrician is saying, "Oh man, this double throw switch, man, you need to change this over for 60 to 100 amps, and it's not weatherproof and blah blah blah." And so I'm not paying much attention, except okay, we couldn't find a 100 amp breaker. He wants to switch it over to 100 amp. I said, let's just do what he says. And it's a throw switch. A lot of people are going to know what I'm talking about right away. When you have a generator, you have a throw switch, right? And we have a 60 amp throw switch, and the electrician says it should be 100. Dan, just like buying regular load from Gcash. So easy, even I can do it. Okay. All right, but if I mess up, Tim, I'm going to come to Angeles and I'm going to be looking for you. Hopefully you won't be in Canada. But anyway, when did you say you were going to be in Canada, Tim? All right, so let me finish it. 29 million people. We're almost there. We're almost there. We need somebody else in here. Anyway, so without thinking about it, which oftentimes I do this also, I tell my mini, well, let's get on the bus. Let's meet them down at City Hardware. Let's look around for that part. So we get down there. Oh, so sorry, sir. All we have in stock are 60 amp breakers, like the one we're already using, double throw switch. We don't have 100 amp. And so we went all around Ormoc there, and I was able to source a 100 amp breaker. But then all of a sudden, the voice in my head said, stop. Take a picture of it, Dan, and don't buy it. Larice is here. Larice is here. Princess Sarah's hanging in there with us. We hit 30. All right, so we're going to draw, but I'm going to make you listen to the rest of the story. All right. Oh, please don't make us suffer, Dan. Please don't. Please let us out of here. We want somebody to win, and then we're out of here. It's Friday night. Pacquiao Mertz is here. All right. So here's the rest of that story. So we meet up with the electrician at City Hardware. As a matter of fact, we were driving the bus straight down Ikapan Road or whatever it's called, by Ikapan Road, the main highway, the national highway, and we see him on the side of the road. And we were gonna take the Metro bus, but we ended up on the, you know what kind of bus we ended up on, the low budget bus, of course. And so it was a pleasant journey down there. We waved to him. We're on this bus. And the bus driver has to hit the brake real fast. And he has to back up. And then Ferdy Gaming is here. And then he gets on, the electrician gets on, he comes over to talk to us. Folks, I got to tell you something. There had to be like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people that were on the bus that were relatives of my wife. Now, have you ever had, I know that you've had this happen before where all of a sudden, right? It's on a coinky dinky day, right? Here comes all of her relatives, not knowing that we're on this bus early in the morning. They're going to work. They're going to Ormo. They have a doctor's appointment. They're doing all kinds of different things, right? And of course, if you have a few bones, you have to pay for these people. You have to pay. It's customary to pay for the ride. So I see Mammy as they come up and, oh, it's been so nice to see you. It's been 20 years. Yeah, as all this stuff is going on, right? I mean, this is her territory, you know. This is where she grew up. So of course everybody's related to her some kind of way. I don't know if incest is involved or not. I know you're thinking that. Uh, Pressy. Maybe you're not Pressy. Somebody in here is. Knitband or somebody. Anyway, I'm sure it is involved because, have you ever had relatives over and then you're trying to ask them what the relationship is? Hey, how does this work? How can you be my cousin and my uncle and she's my auntie and my all at the same time? I don't know how it works here in the Philippines. I know something happened though. I know something happened. Well, anyway, so we're running into everybody, but as we're getting 3/4 of the way down there, the light bulb goes on in my head. And I said, wait a minute. That's the generator throw switch. That's not the breaker switch that all 3 of those air conditioners are on. They all have separate 30 amp breakers. They're all taken care of. So I go, wait a minute. And I get on my phone and I'm Googling it. This is why I like Google. And I say, what throw switch do you need for a 5,000-watt generator? And I discovered that it only generates 40 amps to 42 amps of power. And so there isn't any reason. The reason why the maximum throw switch that everybody carries is 60 amps is because that's all you need. Because most people in brownouts in the Philippines, they're using a 5,000-watt generator, which only generates a max of 40 amps of power. So I'm going, oh, we don't need it. No wonder nobody has it, or only one supply company, the big one there in Ormo. No wonder they're the only ones that have it. And they were so dusty, they'd been on the shelf for 10 years. Oh, these will work. How much are they? Oh, they're 5,000 pesos. I'm like, what? And of course, I'm like, Google. And I show Mammy, no, there's a mistake here. That 5,000-watt generator only generates journals. How you doing, journals? It only generates 40 amps of power. So a 60 amp breaker is plenty for a 40 amp throw switch to run that generator when you switch it over. But then I thought of something else. God Repairs is here. I thought of something else, and that is that on occasion, I have seen them running the air conditioning in a brownout when the generator was running. And so I have to go run around telling people, no, you can't do that. That's only to run fans, a television set, and the refrigerator. That's all it's for, is to keep those three things going if you're lucky enough to have them. That's your TV set, that's your television set, that is your fan, or it could be two or three fans. All depends on how many amps it's drawing. And your small apartment size refrigerator. That is all that 5,000 watt generator should be handling. So I have to be. So once I discovered that, right, at first I was very pleased because I was going, oh, listen, he jumped the gun on that. It turns out we don't need a 100 amp throw switch. It's called a what? A dual throw something something switch, right? Where you switch it over from the generator to the household. It depends on the size of the generator. Yes, it depends on the size of the generator. So if it's an industrial size, let's say it's a 6,000 or it's a 10,000 watt generator, then you have to bump it up to a 100 amp breaker because it's going to be generating something like 60 amps. Well, tell me, Tim, in a brownout, who does that? I mean, all I want is a light bulb to work. And a lot of people have figured out that solar is the way to go if it's just a light bulb that you need to turn on, right? Oh my gosh, I'm glad I discovered all that. There's there's plenty of room left in that throw switch. There's plenty of room. 40 40 amps is all that thing generates. Yeah. 6,000 watts, it would generate a little bit more, but 60 amps still covers it. So I'm not doing anything to change that thing out. I'm not in a hurry. We'll wait for the whole thing to fail, and then I still won't do anything, right? I'll still just be like dragging my feet and not doing anything. It's $100. It's $100 for that. And are they weatherproof? That was the other thing. And this isn't weatherproof, but I find out that it is. They all are. You know, these things. So in the States, I don't know if people know it or not. They probably know. The main fuse box goes outside in the States. In an apartment, it's inside. It's a sub panel box. It's not the main one. Just runs your apartment. It's just like here in the Philippines. If you go to Cebu and you go get an apartment in a high rise, that breaker switch there, that thing is just like runs off a main panel, and then usually they have a little thing that shows how much power you're using. Just a little teeny tiny box, so they can bill you for the power that you're using. But it's generally inside the apartment. In the Philippines or in the United States, it's outside in most residential homes. And so I often wondered, why is that? Why do they put the fuse boxes outside where they're exposed to the weather? And it's because if electricity gets wet, it won't hurt you unless you're grounding it. If I had a generator, I would want to power aircon, refrigerator, light, and internet connection. Yeah, it does. It runs the internet. The internet doesn't draw very many amps, only a couple, right? So you have internet, you've got the TV set, but it depends also on what your history for brownouts are, right? So if your brownouts only last 15 or 20 minutes, you're in the middle of a show, Cha Ram is here. Thank you for your time, Cha Ram. You're in the middle of your favorite show, and you're like, son of a gun, go turn that generator on, so I can catch the rest of the show. That pretty much is going to cover you. It's going to cover you. I think the most that we had a brownout was 8 hours. And and I was totally an ass. I was like, let's run the whole thing for all 8 hours. And we never once used the air con or anything like that because it draws too much amps. I already knew that. But I got to let the rest of the household know in our absence, not to be running the AC because it draws too many amps. That's my story. I'm afraid I am sticking to it. My brownouts last 9 hours. You would have to have a big generator, and you probably would need a 100 amp switch, which are hard to find because nobody buys them because they're too expensive. Oh my goodness gracious. I got to go to real time on this phone. Let me see if you guys can give me a moment before we're going to draw right now, but I want to make sure I'm in real time. And you know how my computer works; it always lags behind, and so I got to get into the phone. I'll be there in a moment. Ah, there I am. The phone. Ah, okay. So you guys heard a little bit of the feedback. Okay, so now we're in real time. Let me unplug this. I was messing around. I was messing around with exterior speakers, and I was having a lot of fun with that earlier. I thought that if the whole thing has gone south, the whole live stream, then I was going to go to my where I grab my sound bites, and I was going to show you guys the magnificent sound bites that they have. Here, I gotta do something here. Hang on, folks. I'm going to mute for just a second. Yeah, I had to unplug the USB port on the speaker, or else we would have gotten feedback. All right, so now that's all taken care of. Let's see who's going to win. Let me let me call in Man Mini. If the whole thing has gone. Oi. All right, I still have my sound up on this. Megan Gomez is showing up in the chat. Larice is here. Resurrection. Prissy Manzanaro. Okay, so we're in real time right now. According to this right here, according to my phone and the computer, we're in good shape. Hang on, I'm going to mute you for a second, and I'm going to call out for Man Mini. All right, she's here. 36 million people in the house. Good evening. There she is. There you go. I was telling them we're going to be going to Thailand soon to meet our friends. All right, here you go. It's all yours. I'm gonna let you hold on to it and go ahead and take that responsibility. Maybe I should hold on to it. First call out. First call out is we're probably gonna have a winner first. First one. Oh, let me see who it is first. No. There's no monkey business going on here. Oh, you know what? Sorry, guys. I've never seen. Listen, this is a person I do admire and respect, but he ain't in here. He ain't in here, so I'm not going to call out that number. All right, we're going to pass him up. Somebody I really care and respect, but we're going to go. We're going to draw again. Nobody in here is going to be harmed. Nobody's going to be harmed. All right, we're going to go again. All right, this is number. No way. No way. He's not going to be here. He didn't stay here. Number 84, Knitband. Must be present to win. Number 84, Knitband. Must be present to win. First call out. He's here. Knitband is here. Knitband. How are you? You can send it to me. Congratulations. Knitband's present. Knitband wins the money. You see, it's that easy. It's that easy. Congrats, Knitband. I would imagine that you'll be telling me where you want this money to go. In the meanwhile, Knitband is the winner of the chicken dinner. 500 pesos. Folks, thanks for coming to the live stream, and we'll see you on the next one. Congratulations, Knitband. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, wait. We're not going yet. He says, I will request Tim to do the honor to choose someone else. So, Tim, if you can announce it here if you want. Tim, you could announce it here, or you could send me You could send me uh, a chat, an instant message as to where you want this to go. I don't want to put you on the spot. So, okay, everybody, we will see you on the next one. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.